The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
Hello, welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. I am Nick Eatman, and it's the final week of the regular season for the Cowboys. It's been a while since the Cowboys have been eliminated for this long in the end of season, and they've had years where they've had worse records than this, but still managed to find a way to stay in the picture, in the mix, on the screen when they show it on TV about in the hunt and all that. No longer the case for the Cowboys. Now the goal for them is to get to 500 at 8-1. And that's the Cowboys' goal. I know the fans, they don't necessarily have that goal. They don't care about that as much as maybe Shoddy would in his first year. They know that they're sitting currently, I think, at 14th in the NFL draft for this upcoming draft. There's about 4 teams behind them at 8-8, and the Cowboys are at 7-8-1, trying to get to 8-1. So there's a few teams back there that the Cowboys could fall behind if they win this game, and those teams lose and go to 8-9. And I guess 8-1 is better than that, but it's weird because it's kind of a winning percentage. So however they do the formula, I know this: the Cowboys are they're going to be picking somewhere in the teens there. And they got 2 picks, though. We'll see what Green Bay's pick looks like. All right, let's go to the phone lines like we always do. We'll start. Davion, he's in Illinois. Davion, what's up, man?
What it do, my boy?
How you doing? How you doing?
Man, doing good. First off, congratulations to Woody and Witten making the top 15. Hopefully one of them get in. Hopefully it's Woody. Of anybody, but hopefully we can get Woody in this year, because I think this is his last year as really with the modern day, I believe, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But hopefully he does get in. But man, we're gonna beat the Giants, man. Dak's playing, so we'll smoke them boys. So I know we got to be the students, so you got to be quick. So quick question for you: would you rather have your quarterback complete no passes in the second half and win a game, or would you rather be an offense that have been punted but only 2 times in the month of December?
What? Wait, you'd rather have an offense that did what? I'm sorry, it's supposed to be quick, but say that again.
An offense that haven't punted only 2 times. They have punted only 2 times in the month of December,
okay,
or be the quarterback of a team that I don't have to complete a pass in the second half and win.
I don't know if it matters, does it? I mean, as long as you're winning, I mean, it doesn't matter. Because those what would you want, Davion? What is your answer there?
Mine would be the offense, because I'll just being tongue in cheek by Jalen Hurts messing up, and having a defense. Basically, he can not complete a pass and win.
Yeah.
And so I wish Dak had that kind of action, but if Dak would have did that, it would have been a whole different story.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the call, Davion. Appreciate that. Happy New Year to you. To me, at the end of the day, though, it's all about winning. I mean, Jalen Hurts. You knew once you saw the weather report there that was going to be a tough day to move the ball, complete the ball, and all that. Sometimes you have to get picked up. But They win. The Eagles have done that. They figured out ways to win games. They figured out a way to lose to the Cowboys in that game when they were up 21-0. But for the most part, that's what they've done this year, is that they've figured out how to win games. Their defense is probably the best part of their team right now, which is never a bad thing going into the playoffs. All right, let's go to Robbie, Cocoa Beach.
Hey, Nick, how are you today? I know we got to be quick.
How are you doing?
Well, very well. Kids are happy. Life's good. Hey, firstly, I want to say I'm real happy to see Woody's advancing again. It'd be cool to see him and Witten go in. He is the best of all of us, that is for sure. You've said something to that effect before, and that's the truth. And then I hope we beat the Giants, and I hope the Packers lose. And I'll hear your thoughts on that. I know that's a conundrum, saying both those things.
Yeah.
But who knows what draft picks are going to get the jackpot winner. It's always 50-50.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, appreciate that. Green Bay, they're in the playoffs, so at this point, it's just about how they finish in the playoffs. Not necessarily I don't think this last game matters much to them, but it's if they're probably going to be, I think, the 7th seed, and if they lose the first game. With the record they have, they're going to be sitting at 21 or 22 for the draft. So yeah, that's kind of what you would like. You'd like to be there. Around 15 or 16. Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to try to win. So and I don't think the Giants are going to. The Giants won this last game. They do not have the number 1 pick. However, now they're tied. I think they have the 2nd pick right now, and they're tied with 3 other teams with the same record. So, somebody in that group of 3 and 13 is going to pick 5th. So I don't think the Giants want to do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens in this game. I'm sure they would love to beat the Cowboys too, but I have a feeling the Cowboys have a chance to win it. They'll probably get higher than. They'll be picking, I guess, lower than 14th. All right, and then we've had 2 callers already discuss it. Jason Witten, Darren Woodson both have advanced to the finalists of the 15 candidates for the Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame of 2026 class. Nobody's really surprised by that. I think Witten, first year eligible to get to 15. That makes sense. Woody, this is the 4th year in a row that he's made it this far. We'll see if he can kind of break through. If they both get in, well, we can just start, booking the trip to Canton next year for the Hall of Fame game because that's going to happen. I have a feeling the best chance to get in would be Woodson. I don't know if Witten will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. It'd be great if he was, but the way, if DeMarcus Ware wasn't, the way they've changed the voting, and I've heard, some of the voters have said that they've really, really trying to make it exclusive for that club of first ballots, and I don't know if Witten is in that or not. Let's go, Chris in San Angelo.
Mr. Nick, how you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, man. I'm fingers crossed on Woody, man. That's all I can say about that. Okay, on this next game, one game, I know the Cowboys are going to try to win it, like you said, but any idea if we get to see maybe at least 1 or 2 of a couple of other running backs possibly working their way in? So, we hadn't really got a chance to get a look at them very much, and I think we kind of know what we have in Javonte, and that all that's left there is just like making a decision on him. So I was wondering, mainly between Blue and
Maffa. Yeah. All right, Chris. Yeah, I'll talk about that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
Thank you for the call. Javonte, he's been kind of banged up. I could see a scenario maybe that they just put him on IR, and because you would need, if you're going to move Maffa up there, he needs a spot on the roster, so that could happen. And then Jaden Blue, it'd be nice to see him play some as well. You're not going to get a great look on any of those guys. Malik Davis will probably start if he's feeling okay. I know he talked yesterday; he had an eye injury, but he had a nice game. I'd like to see a little bit of both of those guys, Blue and Maffa, for this last game. And I think there's a scenario, like you said, where that could happen. And what else does Javonte need to do? He's had career highs in yards and touchdowns, and he's just had a career season. I don't know if he needs to prove anything else. He's tough as nails. He's been great for this offense, great for Dak. And I think, it would probably be smart for him not to play, considering he didn't even finish that last game with an injury. All right, let's go to break here on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be right back after this.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline here, presented by Gillette. Let's go to Jeremy in Salt Lake. Jeremy, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick, what's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm good. Did you guys have a Merry Christmas?
We did. Thank you.
I appreciate you being on here and sharing all of Jerry's opinions with us. It's always nice.
All right.
Yeah, man. Anyway.
What do you got, man?
Been a fun year. It's been an interesting year. It's been fun in a lot of different ways. I'm never going to be Team Tank. You know what I mean? I don't believe in it. I don't believe that does any good for the next year. You know what I mean? I think you need to set a clear message and go in and try to win the last game, right? Yeah. Finishing strong, I think, is important. There's something I kind of wanted to talk about that you brought up yesterday that I've been thinking about for years, and I know it's kind of not really off topic, but like I've always wondered, Nick, why there hasn't been, with all the different offenses we've seen in the NFL, going back to Miles Davis and, the run and shoot and, the Air Coryell offenses and, some of those things that were going on in the late 80s, early 90s, why nobody had a hook and ladder type offense. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think it would be one of the coolest things in the game to just have a guy always trailing. I've always thought about this. If you had a guy trailing each one of every time you completed a pass, or even, not every time, but having a big part of your offense to have a guy trailing and waiting for the pitch there. I just think it would be a dynamic to the game to where if you could actually have an offense kind of based off that, it could kind of, I don't know, it would be an interesting game. It would be an interesting kind of, right, kind of thing to the game, and
play, yeah,
absolutely, it'd be pretty cool. So I was kind of cool when you said that yesterday, because I've been thinking about that for years. So if we were only 30 years younger, man,
Well, all right, yeah. Hey, Jeremy, thank you for the call, and I think what a play like that does, it creates, more. It creates more space there, and I think you're using the width of the field more than just trying to go north and south. And I think the defenses have gotten so fast as well that's just another play that hasn't been accounted for yet. You know what I mean? When the corner sees the guy catch it, your eyes just go to it. There was a play a few years ago. I can't remember the year. The Cowboys were playing in Philly, I want to say 3 years ago, and they'd gotten down there. They lost by They were trying to throw into the end zone to win the game. They got down to like the 5, but then a couple penalties pushed them back. So it was like last play of the game, they throw it to CD, and he catches it like at the 5-yard line because that's what the Eagles were giving them, of course. From there, he's trying to figure it out and get in there, but he got tackled and they fell short. But I remember thinking how cool it would be if you give that catch and then he's got to throw it across the field or something backwards. Because that's what is not being played at that point. And I think a lot of times defensive eyes are just going straight to the ball, that you can do pitchbacks and things like that. But it's got to be practiced, and it's got to be, you got to have sure-handed guys to catch it, pitch it, all those kind of things. But, yeah, I mean, if it works, that would be great. Let's go to Rick in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. Rick, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I've been watching you for over 20 years, so I saw you on the .com with all those other guys. And I saw you on the broadcast like there with the Botch and those guys.
Well,
you went and
thanks, Rick.
visited that podcast last week.
All right.
So I just wanted to call and say I think we'd be doing a lot better if we could just stick to defense, because the offense, as soon as the defense did good, they did way better. There was less pressure. Dak was out there yelling defense, and they were happier and less pressured, and they played better. So I can't watch another year with this defense.
I don't think anyone can. I don't think anyone's going to watch this another year with this defense. This defense is the worst we've seen in a long time. They're not. They don't make any plays. They don't. I mean, they give up a lot, but they don't make any plays. They don't get any interceptions. I think they're tied for the worst in the history of the team for interceptions in a
definitely.
year. I mean, they don't get any sacks. They just don't have any playmakers. And they got one guy in the Pro Bowl, but that was based off of reputation and maybe what he's done with the Jets more than what he did here, Quinnen Williams. So it just wasn't a good year. And if they don't fix it, then they're not trying. And I know that they're going to be trying. So
I think there's a lot of good players in the team. I just think they're put in position to make the plays.
Yeah. Well, they've got, you can't switch out all the players, like you said, so they're going to have to probably switch out, some of the coaches or starting at the top. I just don't see how you salvage this. So.
Right, I agree. Well, just at least for once this year they got some free agents, which is amazing.
Yeah. So
they got Pickens and Quentin Williams and like that. They never do that normally during the year.
Yeah, no, that's true. They made a lot of trades this year. They definitely made a lot of trades. There's no doubt about that. So, all right, Rick. Well, thanks for the call.
It was nice to talk to you.
Nice talking to you. First time caller. Thank you for that. Thanks, Rick. Keep calling back. Let's go to a guy that's not a first time caller. He probably has called more than anybody this year. Lester, Minnesota. Lester, what's up?
Good morning, Nick.
How are you?
Hey, man, I just want to get a shout out to Witten and Woody. So hopefully Woody makes it.
Yeah. Hope so.
And then I just, go ahead.
No, I just said I hope so. I mean, that's my guy. Both him and Witten are two of my favorites of all time. So I would be pulling for them to get in.
As you know, man, I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan since 1977. I just want to give an update of the, what I always say, offensive and defensive line until we get both. This is what we got. I want to give an update of what I said last week and what the offensive line should be with what we have right now. Left tackle, Tyler Smith. And I said left guard Steele, and I said Nate. But I forgot about Rob Jones. So if Steele isn't there, I would put Rob Jones there, B.B. Booker, Guyton. Also, man, I think the defensive line is pretty good right now, but we need a pass rusher. And also the next thing I would get is a veteran middle linebacker who could read coverage, hit, and cover. And then, whatever else we need, let's get it. But I think we need to really focus on the defense. Like I said, what I would do, number one thing with pass rusher. Second thing I would do, a veteran middle linebacker that could read, hit, and cover. And I think we'll beat the Giants this week. I think we'll blow them out 30-14. Go Cowboys.
All right. Thanks, Lester. I don't know about Tyler Smith at left tackle. I more than anything, I don't think that's where he wants to be. And he knows where he is. He knows what he's really good at. You want to help the team, and you do those kind of things in a pinch when you need to. It's a guy gets hurt in the middle of the game. What gives you your best combination? But he was paid to be an elite left guard. He is an elite left guard, and I think that's where he's the most comfortable. It's no different than Nate Newton, Larry Allen, Zach Martin. Those guys all played tackle at some times, and some years started out that way. But they're better at guard, and I don't think there's any difference there with Tyler Smith. And I get it's easier to find your left guard or maybe even hide them than your left tackle, but he didn't. I don't think Tyler played his best game, and that's just one game. He just got thrown out there. I guarantee if he was a left tackle and that was what he did all year, then he'd be really good at that. Better than what he was the other day. I'm not just using that one game, but I think it's something to consider. All right, let's go to break here on Cowboys Storyline and be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. It's Tuesday, December 30th. We know we do things differently on Tuesday. This is not our last show of the year. We'll do a show tomorrow on Wednesday, but as we tape our TV show, we will say a Happy New Year. It'll be our final one of the TV show, maybe the final one of the regular season. I'm not sure that full schedule, but let's get back to the phone lines here. We've got Griff in San Angelo.
Yes,
Griff, what's up?
Morning. How are y'all doing this morning?
Good.
Hey, my question is: bigger problem, Diggs playing in a system that does not benefit him or that he's best at, or the defensive coordinator? Now, everybody talks about Diggs maybe not being there next year, but if you put Diggs in the type of system that benefits him, I call it putting players in a position to succeed.
Yeah.
So what is the bigger hiccup? Diggs trying to play a style of defense that does not benefit him or that he's not really good at, so you get a different defensive coordinator that runs that kind of defense, or is Diggs truly a problem?
Griff, I think you've asked one of the toughest questions of the offseason here for the Cowboys to figure out. That's where they are right now to kind of figure that out. I think the answer is a little bit of both. I really do. I don't think, and I don't know all the stuff behind the scenes with Diggs, but I don't think it's just a matter of he wants to play, more man than zone and all that stuff. I think it's more than that. I think his mindset and personality and all of the thing, his approach to the game is not what the Cowboys want it to be. And they I think deep down they feel like, the money that they've paid him and that he kind of does his own thing. He freelances. It's not as much team oriented. And this isn't just playing the scheme. This is everything. This is where you rehab. This is where you are in the building.
Yep.
This is how hard you work, how hard you study, those kind of things. And I just don't know if it's the culture fit that they want.
Well, the thing that you're going to have to hang your hat on is if you do part ways with him, however you do it, whether it's trade, free agent, to cut him, whatever it is,
mm-hmm.
and he goes somewhere else and becomes an all-pro somewhere else, are you good with that?
Yeah.
To me, that's kind of the balancing act that you had to figure out between, if you're going to keep him, trade him, cut him, whatever it is are you good with him going somewhere else and becoming an all-pro?
Yeah. No, you're right. That's one of the issues you always have to deal with. I think, Griff, you're putting out some really good questions there, the ones that the Cowboys are going to have to figure out. I think at the end of the season here, this is where we are, I think that they're going to do a post-June 1 cut with him, which you don't have to wait till June 1st to do that. But I think that's what they'll do. I think they'll save, it might be $12 million on the cap. I think that's where this is headed, in my mind. But and then like you said, they're gonna have to, figure that out, because he'll probably go to a place, and it might. I don't know where Stephon Diggs' contract situation is. I think he's in New England right now. I don't know where. I don't know what his contract is, but it might be a situation where he plays with him, and that might be a good thing for both of them. I don't know, but it seems like that he's probably headed for somewhere else. But and that doesn't mean that the coordinator will stay either. I think both things could be true. All right, Alan in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. How you doing, Nick?
What's up? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm finally on vacation, so I get a chance to call into your show.
Yeah.
Listen all the time while I'm at work.
Appreciate that.
I got a quick question. Well, everybody talking about tanking and everything, and whether he will or not. I feel if you're not in the playoffs, why I say get the best draft position. But my question is this: do you think the NFL will ever adopt what the NFL is doing, the NBA is doing with a draft, with a lottery, where teams won't take, and then they have a draft special to see who gets the number one pick? They maybe the worst 13 teams in the lottery, and then maybe the Cowboys can luck up like Dallas Mavericks did and get number one pick if it was like that. You think something like that ever happened?
Maybe, but it sounds like the NBA's got their own problems too when it comes to tanking games and trying to figure out how to make that work. They've got a lot of incentives that they're trying to throw out there for their league. I don't know. I mean, right now the NFL, it doesn't seem like it's a broke model necessarily. For the NFL, There might be some ways to, when you get to a certain point in the season, when teams are eliminated, maybe there's a way, once you get eliminated, you're in this pool, but yet the more games you win, the more ping pong balls or whatever you get. So, maybe there's a reason to try to keep winning even though you're out of it. I could see something like that, but it would have to be, I'm not smart enough to do that, but there's got to be some way to kind of keep it going. And it's not just for the draft. I mean, think about it. How many fantasy football is huge. You can roll your eyes if you want to, if you don't play it. If you don't play it, that means you don't like it, you don't understand it or whatever. But there's a lot of people that play, and it helps the viewing and the ratings. And how many playoff games in fantasy football were ruined this last weekend because of teams not playing their guys and things like that? It happens all the time. So there's a lot of incentives to keep things, keep teams playing and interested.
Okay, I just want to get your take on that.
All right, Alan. All right, appreciate that. Thank you for the call, and stay warm up there in Chicago. And all right, let's go to Michael, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Hey man, what's going on? You have a good Christmas and everything on Friday?
It was. Christmas is Christmas, And Christmas
is Christmas.
Christmas is undefeated, and it won again, even though we had to wait a little bit. But yeah, it was good.
I'm glad. Hey, I'm kind of worried about our Cowboys. I count that we need 9 positions filled for next season, and I just don't see how they're going to do that. I mean, I guess there's magic can happen, create, but I'm looking at safeties, corners, edges, linebackers, and probably an offensive tackle. I mean, you think that's pretty accurate, or am I? I mean, I'm not a football
Is that
guy.
9?
You are.
Is that 9, or were you doing like 2 safeties?
Yeah, 2 linebackers, 2 safeties, 2 corners, 2 edges, and an offensive tackle. I think we need all that.
Yeah. Think about your home. Okay, think about the things that inside of your house that you would love to fix. Right? There's probably 9. There might be more. How many are you going to fix? Which one do you really need to do, or this one it's being nice to have? Those 9 that you talked about, I don't think that's all going to happen. Especially when you're talking about cornerback, when Deron Bland's one of them that you re-signed and all that, and you got Revel. You don't need 2 corners. I mean, you not to the point of going out in free agency or draft or whatever. I mean, you've got guys here, and they'll draft some players, and they'll bargain shop on certain spots. I don't think that they look at it like they need 9 to function. You're looking at 9, but they're, they probably have that list at 3 or 4, because that's what reality is going to say. I mean, I'm not saying that they won't try to fix those, but from a priority standpoint, I don't think they can do all 9. You know what I mean?
That's good. Now, hey, one more quick question. What about defensive coordinator? I've been here. I know the whole lateral move thing, but I've been hearing there's a possibility of getting. He coaches in the north, purple and gold. I don't want to, since he's on a team, but is there a possibility to get around that rule and stuff, or is that just pretty much out?
Yeah, draft picks can get around all rules. I don't think you want to necessarily do that. But there are guys that are out of contract, and once the contracts expire, then we'll see who's open for all of that. But yeah, I mean, if a guy's a defensive coordinator on another team and under contract, then no, you can't make him your coordinator. But a lot of these guys that people really want that are having great seasons as a coordinator, they're going to be up for head coaching jobs too, and that's kind of how it starts. And so, that's not what the Cowboys will be looking for, obviously, but there will be some options. There are guys out there, and I guarantee the Cowboys are already looking at that to see kind of what they need to do. All right. JR in Avondale, Arizona is next.
Good morning, Nick. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Glad to hear you had a good Christmas. We had a good one out here as well. So
good.
The Cowboys had such a weird schedule this year. I think I've been watching the Cowboys my entire life and can never remember so many Thursday games and Monday night games and Sunday night games. But the good part about that is you get to watch all the other teams play, because you're not sitting there locked in on the Cowboys. And it's just, looking at all these other teams, it just, as bad as the Cowboys' defense is, I really don't think they're that far away from some of these other teams. I mean, the difference between 8-1 and 11-6 is pretty razor thin. And we've talked about it before, about it's a stop here, it's a stop there. Mm-hmm. And they're winning more games. So the defense is bad. It's got to be fixed. But I don't think you have enough people, and y'all were just talking about it. You don't have enough draft picks or anything to go out and get enough people to replace all these people. But people like Ezeraku and Ravel and Maris Leofau, they've got to start playing because they're already on the team. And if those guys get up to speed, then you're going to be a lot better team, because you're not going to be able to add, as you were just saying, 9 people. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's all I got. That's my thoughts for today. Just want to call in and wish everybody a Happy New Year. and say go Cowboys and go Woody getting that haul.
Yeah, there you go. You're right, JR, on that. That's the guys that have to kind of step up. Those are the draft picks. You don't have those second and third rounders right now. You're gonna have some after that. They'll get some comp picks, and they'll get some picks, and they can move things around. But you're right. That's how you take that leap. Is you develop those players, and that's what just didn't happen this year. I don't really know I don't know what defensive player elevated their game. Anybody really? I mean that's a problem. Look at the safety position. You've got Malik Hooker, who got hurt this year. Donovan Wilson's kind of been in and out of the lineup a little bit. He's been banged up some. He's missed some games, and and then you think about who you signed. You re-signed Wanye Thomas, Marquise Bell. Wanye got hurt, missed a lot of time this year. Marquise Bell really didn't make a big difference. I mean, your safeties just you tried to develop some of them. And some of them are homegrown, but they haven't really taken that leap either. So that's a position where you could use a really good safety back there. So here we are again in that boat. All right, let's go. Let's see Irene in Falls Church, Virginia.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. All right. I've heard a little bit of the conversation yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, I hope you didn't take what I said.
No. You
too negatively there.
No, your opinion is you had a different opinion, which is fine. Everybody has their own opinion. What we talked about was Jordan Lewis. That they were talking about that in the spaces, and
yeah.
I guess I had said that I didn't think the Cowboys were going to pay $10 million a year, not just $10 million a year for Jordan Lewis, and that's what you disagreed with, whatever, which is fine. Rob took it to another level. We don't need to revisit that and all that. But, it's fine. And I hope everyone knows this. My opinion is my opinion, and y'all have your own opinion, and I'm not wrong. You're not wrong. Nobody's wrong when it comes to their opinion. It's kind of what Rob had said after that. We addressed that. It's all good. So I'm not worried about that. I mean, you had a different opinion about what they should have done with Jordan Lewis than I did, and which is fine. All good.
Cool. Sounds good. But I did want to talk not necessarily about that aspect of it, but seeing the other players on different teams. That even the other day we see Luke Gifford making a play, right? And it's like, man, but he's not doing that well. It just happens to be we see it on prime time in a crazy game, right? So, but there are certain players, and even going back to like DeMarcus Ware when they didn't re-sign him. And to be honest, back then I was for that because I didn't try. He started to get injured, but I think I want your opinion on this because you've seen it play out for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
When they don't re-sign somebody or they let somebody go, test out the market, and they go to these other teams and they seem to succeed. Like Marcus Ware gets his Super Bowl ring. Tank Lawrence is having a resurgence. Cheeto, he's quarterback 3, but he's like the number 6 rated PFF. I know that's not perfect, but anyway, I think
who's the last guy that you mentioned?
Cheeto Awuzie. Apparently, PFF has him ranked as the 6th, but he's in a role of the 3rd corner for the Ravens, right? So I think where we get messed up is that we have these players and they're either not working out as their draft pick or they're aging, whatever it might be, and we don't change the role. When they go to these other teams, like Tank comes in on 3rd down, right? He's like a little mercenary, and they put him out there in better situations. And I wonder your comments on like how we actually adjust people's roles, whether it's not working out or whether they're aging or injured, and if we can do more of that. I think the contracts get in the way is the problem, but these other teams seem to be able to carve out a role with the contracts. Anyway, so that's my call. Happy New Year. I probably won't call in again. So Happy New Year.
All right. Appreciate it. Sometimes players do have to go to other teams just to kind of find that role, because when you're here, it's like Tank for an example, what it was going to cost to pay him, and that situation was different because Cowboys basically drew a line in the sand, and it was going to be Micah. You know, those guys obviously weren't going to be on the team together, and they didn't share Christmas card exchanges this year. The Cowboys decided to pay Micah, and they ended up losing both of them. But, you know, DeMarcus, yeah, he's got a role for him. What he wanted contract wise and what that role was going to be is not what the Cowboys could pay. You know, they couldn't pay what DeMarcus was asking for to have just a third down role. You know, and the same goes to Jordan Lewis with you know, you get a point at the salary cap where you can't have guys in roles like that. You know, I mean, they had to make a decision with Cheeto Awuzie a while ago, and so you see these guys in other roles, but like you mentioned, Luke Gifford, he's running down on special teams. I'm sure he could have done that, you know, here as well. So I think the point is that if you really want to play that game, that's fine. There are guys that are going to other teams that are playing well, and it happens. And sometimes, do you misevaluate on guys? Sure, you do, and the Cowboys have. I bet you, if you really went back and look over the last 3 seasons of all the players that have signed with other teams and free agency and things like that, I bet you that most of those guys have not exceeded expectations, and for them, I mean, and think about the guys that they lost. You know, and with other teams. D-Law made it to the Pro Bowl. He made it to the Pro Bowl because he scored 2 touchdowns in one game. I mean, that's pretty much what happened. Now, he's had a good year on a really good team, but I don't, you know, for the money that they were going to have to pay him, that just has to happen. But if you go back and look at these guys that are leaving, especially the ones that went to Washington or whatever, Biotish, Dorrance Armstrong, they're solid. But I don't think that they've met that contract. And so, and, you know, but to be fair, the Cowboys have signed their own guys here, and those guys haven't met the money either. So, like, it kind of happens. I think it's an NFL thing more than anything, is that free agency and the money that these guys pay, it's rare that they actually exceed those expectations. All right, let's go Lewis in Langston, Oklahoma.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Not bad, man. I was seeing that they got Darren Woodson in the finalist, so I wanted to give a shout out to him. Hopefully, he makes it past this round, and we get what everybody been asking for.
Sure.
But other than that, man, I was calling. I wanted to give my New Year's resolution list of things that I would like to see. I hate to say it because I've been trying not to get a man fired from his job, but we got to go somewhere else. And I know Jerry said he didn't want to try to change another D coordinator, but I remember him always saying, I have the right to reserve to change my mind. Get somebody in here that'll change it, because I feel like at this point, I was listening to another podcast, and I hate to say which one it was because I can't remember who else said it, but I don't see any development on the defensive end, on the defensive side at all. And you bring in new bodies, you bring in old bodies, but it feels like watching them play, there's no development at all. I don't know if they're not buying into what's being told or what's going on. So my New Year's resolution list will be just bringing in somebody that can get these players to buy in what we're selling. Because at this point, I know you can't replace everybody. So most of these players are going to be back next year. So we got to get somebody that's going to get them to buy in. And I'll leave it at that. That'll be where I'll start, and maybe see what everybody else has on their New Year's resolution for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Thank you, Lewis. I mean, yeah, without a doubt, that's where it has to start. I mean, because you're right. You cannot fix all these players. You can't change them out. A lot of them are going to be here under contract, things like that. So what you got to do is find a coach that can relate to them and get them to respond to what you're doing, but also that coach has got to be able to respond to what he inherits, what he has here, and what these players do best, and figure out a scheme that can be adaptable to do that. But also the players, you want the players to be adaptable as well. So, be flexible. And I think it's got to be a better marriage than what it's been. All right, let's go one more caller here. Cowboy Nico in Colorado Springs. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? I didn't get to say it, so I'm going to say it. Merry Christmas. I know it's late. And let's start off with the new year with a bang. Hopefully this season gets a little mouth washed out of our mouth and we can regroup. I want to say something. Shoddy, yes, you heard the name, Shoddy. Congratulations, Shoddy. You have earned my respect, sir. I said at the beginning of the year, we're going to win 7 games. As long as we fight, I will be proud of this team. For the most part, other than the defense, I have seen fight, and I respect it. So the reason I've changed my stance on calling Shoddy is simply this. Matt Eberflus, you have made us look horrible, bad. I don't even have words for it. As a Cowboys fan, I'm just embarrassed. Plain, flat out embarrassed. I would much rather watch my son's high school defense than this. So, Shoddy, you have had my respect because I found out just recently that's the only coach, if I'm wrong, Nick, correct me, he did not hire Flus.
I don't think
Was that not on the front office?
I mean, sure, it is. Now, what was said behind the scenes and how much Shoddy was on the table for Flus, or he knew him at all. I don't know any of that. From the timing of it. No, I think Flus was already in the cards there.
Okay. So I might have been okay. Thank you for correcting me.
I think you're right. I think you're right about that. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
Okay. The last thing is Trayvon, you've sorely disappointed me. You want to go be with your bestie, go hang out with your bestie, leave, take the star off your helmet because you obviously don't want to be here anymore. But before I go, I want to say I have been trying to get in, and I've been training new people. As I know Irene and Sue, they've been close to me and keeping me, making sure I'm good, and vice versa. But I want to say thank you to absolutely everybody. I did not get a chance to call in, and I wanted to say thank you guys for reaching out. So I'm going to end calls now from now on this way, and here it is. I'm going to leave you guys with this. Ask for help. Let's get rowdy, and how about them Cowboys?
Awesome. Thank you, Nico. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was so good to hear from you. Hadn't heard from you in a few weeks, maybe even a couple months, and you sound way better than you did before. And good job for Irene and Sergeant Sue and everyone else that kind of reached out and try to pick each other up because that's exactly what families do. That's what friends do, communities do, and that's what we've got here. Cowboy Storyline. Let's go to break real quick. We'll be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline. I got enough time just to pretty much say goodbye here. It's been another really good show and a great year here of I think a great year, 2025. Obviously, football-wise, the Cowboys, missed the mark, and we know that they're not going to make the playoffs. But it's been always entertaining. We know that, and it's been fun to watch some of these players really grow and to see what Dak has done, George Pickens, and all that. We got one more game to go. Cowboys Cowboys take on the Giants this Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern time out there in New York. Should be a lot of fun. All right, for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you next time. Happy New Year, everyone, on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?